My loves, okay, so I don't know if you've noticed yet, but my audio is not in sync with the clip because my mic wasn't plugged in properly on this day, so the intro is completely mute. However, I did decide to do a voiceover. Luckily, I would have been so upset if I filmed the whole thing as a talk through and then watched the footage back and it had no audio, so I'm really sorry about that. But this is today's look. This is what I'm doing a tutorial on. I used number 3 on the Fenty Beauty palette, and I also used a naked palette from Decay. But this is the vibe. It's very cool tone, smoky. That's what I was going for. So I really hope you love it, and let's just get straight on with today's video. So we're going to kick things off today with the brows, and as always I'm using my trio combo. This is what I absolutely love using on my brows. I start with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Ebony, and then I use the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer to clean up, and then I finish off by doing some definition with the Glossier Pro Tip in black. So I start every brow routine by brushing my hairs up. The reason I brush my hairs up is just to get those hairs out of the way. It gives me good visualization. Also, product, the Anastasia Beverly Hills glides on so much better when there is no hair in the way. I have noticed this. I always start by filling the bottom and then fill out throughout my brow and kind of work my way upwards. And lastly, I then add some little hair-like strokes towards the front of the brow. That's been my kind of routine at the moment. I switch up my brow routine maybe like once or twice a year, not very often. I have 2 different ones, one for when my brows are actually in shape and one for times like this where my brows really need to be threaded, but I'm just kind of letting them go a little bit wild. Switch over and do operation cleanup using, this is just a flat shader brush. It's a synthetic brush. You can use any one. This is literally one from a Vanity Planet brush set ages ago, and I really like this for cleaning up my brows. And I love that concealer because it's very close to my skin tone, but the formula is also very nice, creamy, blends out like an absolute dream. You'll see when I flip over and use my concealer buffer brush, it just blends out so beautifully. And I use this on the top and the bottom of my brows just for an extra sharp, clean look. And I also take that product down to my eyelid just to do a little bit of colour correcting. And then just to finish off, we are taking the Glossier Pro Tip. This is in black and it's really nice just to add definition right at the end and create some more little hair-like strokes. It really makes all of the difference. Moving on to base, I'm taking my Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Primer, not before I have a drink of water apparently, and I just work this into the skin. I love this. This is my favourite primer out of this year. I've been using it so much for the past couple of months. And I'm also taking my Becca Evermatte Poreless Perfecting Primer, and with this product you really want to work it in before applying it, otherwise where it's gathered up, it'll gather up and show under the foundation. Today's foundation combination is Nars Natural Longwear Radiant. This is my absolute favourite, and I mix it with the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation. This is a beautiful combination. Both these foundations on their own are beautiful, very skin-like but still medium to full coverage, and together they're just absolutely dreamy. They're quite similar in formula, medium buildable coverage, lightweight. So actually together they work very lovely, and they blend in so well with a beauty blender. It's literally like a second skin. It just melts into your skin so nicely, and that Fenty primer as well, everything sits so nicely on top of that. To highlight and contour, I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is my favourite concealer to come out of this year again, and I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick in Ebony. I decided to do contour first today. I don't know why, I just decided to do that. So I'm blending this in using my foundation buffing brush from Bare Minerals. I also take that product up into my hairline because of course I have braids, so I don't want my scalp to be really light and then my contour to be ridiculous. And today I went for an extra deep contour, extra bronzy, so I take my Huda Beauty Tantour in medium on a beauty blender, because this is the best way I find to apply it. Straight out the pot onto your beauty blender and then just dab it into your skin where you need it. I apply in all the contours as usual, just above my cheekbone, so it falls really nicely into my cheekbone, along the jawline, and then of course along the forehead, and later on I do a powder contour on the nose. And this is the only place I've been putting highlight lately. I put a little bit under my contour just to clean up a little bit later, but mostly underneath my eyes, a tiny bit on the bridge of my nose, because it has really, really good coverage and it spreads really nice. So you actually don't need too much of it. I tend to overuse it. And I just blend this in with my Mint Beauty Blender. I love this base so much, honestly. This whole combination is just so beautiful. To set under my eye stay, I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake powder in Blondie, and I always take this on a damp sponge, because it again just melts into the skin so much nicer. The sponge will obviously absorb any excess powder, and then the rest of it just buffs into the skin and gives you this really nice flawless under eye, which I'm just obsessed with. I'm using my Skindinavia, the Makeup Finishing Setting Spray, and I like doing this before eyeshadow. After I cream contour, I really like going over top and powder contouring. It makes it last longer, and I just really enjoy a sharp contour. This is definitely optional, you do not have to do this. I just like having both. And I was going for a really nice matte bronzy contour today. That's why I use 2 contour creams and a powder. Yeah. For blush, I'm taking this Nars 1 to 2 palette, and I take the 2 middle shades and I mix those together and apply it onto the cheek. I've been liking taking the blush across my nose lately. It just makes the centre of my face look very unison, because I do have quite a lot of under eye highlight. So by taking it across the face, it just kind of brings a nice bit of colour back. So for the eyes, I'm taking the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded palette, and I just take the deepest browny shade in there. It's a bit of a cool tone brown, so this look ended up being quite cool tone, which is fitting because of my grey cord shirt, so it worked out really nicely. And I just take this on my Zoeva 227 and sweep that towards the outside of the eye. I follow with the dark brown shade in this Fenty Beauty number 3. This is a new Snap Shadow palette, and I just use that to blend out the edges and literally just keep that on the outer third. It just pulls the eye out really nicely. Lastly, I follow up with this Nars Longwear eyeliner pencil. I can't remember the name, I'll leave it linked down in the description. I take this into my waterline and then slightly onto my top lash line as well, and I use my finger to slightly smoke that out. Next, just setting around my mouth. I've been loving doing this with the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose powder in Deep Peach. It kind of completes the look for me before then going over with my highlighter. This is the Ofra Cosmetics Beverly Hills, just on my forehead and underneath the brow bone. I just like highlighting those areas. Velour lashes in Fluffy Air, which I'll leave in the description box. You can use the code VLS times Uche to save some money. And then to finish up this whole look, I'm going in with MAC Cork. And as I always say, I kind of contour my lips. So I take MAC Cork to line and also to fill. And then after that, I will go over top with MAC Chestnut just to accentuate my Cupid's bow and the bottom of my lip. I love mixing these 2 matte lipsticks. This is Uoma Beauty Earther. This is the most perfect black girl friendly nude I've used all year. Amazing. And then I follow on top with Staycation from Huda Beauty, which is a bit more of a cool tone nude. and I just love the way that looks. This is one of my favorite lip combos. This look is so season appropriate. It's very cool tone, very smoky, really nice matte skin, which I've been absolutely loving. And yeah, I really hope you guys loved today's tutorial. I'm so sorry about the intro, but I hope the look makes up for it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.